2-8. Okay, yeah, we're good.
Everybody ready?
I'm
Yeah.
ready.
Here we go.
All right. Hey Saints, welcome back to episode 2 of the Shipp Show. 2 P's, no T's. Always going to clarify.
That's our call sign.
That's our call
Yes,
sign.
it is.
Thanks for coming back. I hope you enjoyed episode 1. We are back today to talk about mental health. My co-president my vice president and I attended SAAC vice president, I should specify.
Okay, yeah.
Attended a conference in early April, I guess later April.
Okay.
The SAAC Super Regional. In which we talked a lot about mental health
Okay.
and how important it is for student athletes to prioritize mental health. But we also talked about a lot of other things in relation to mental health, things like stigmas and things of that nature, all of which we'll probably get into today.
Sure.
But we were inspired so much that it became one of our 3 pillars that we decided to focus on at
Love
SAAC
that.
this year. Yeah. And so mental health being one, the other of which being fundraising and giving back, and then community building, both internal and external. So those all 3 kind of, work in together.
Yep.
But I figured no time like the present to talk about mental health. We're fresh off of 8-week courses, halfway through the semester for
How are you
most.
feeling? 8 weeks, good?
Well, I'm great. I just finished up an 8-week course, so I've got like half the workload. I'm feeling good. So, but it's a great time to, look at that kind of thing, right? Because something like those courses can provide a lot of stress for people.
Yep.
They also can play hand in hand with the stress you get as an athlete.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about some of that today.
Yeah, great. I'm down for that for sure.
And we have some activities to work on today.
We totally do, right? I did my homework, right?
Yeah.
I promised you. I was like, I think one of the questions that you and I should talk about is what do you do to de-stress, right?
Yeah.
Kind of get your head straight and how you can do that for yourself, right?
Yeah.
So I always think about the things that gave us joy when we were kids, right?
Yes.
And coloring, right? So I brought my fun psychedelic turkey coloring today. So we're having a little competition, a little holiday-inspired competition in our house.
Love it.
Nobody can really beat Mom, so I think we're all fighting for second place in our house.
It's all right.
But you know what I love is in the morning, we'll sit right before we go to school and go to work, and we do each of us a little piece of our puzzle.
I love it.
I love to color.
Yeah.
Like I can feel my cortisol levels come down. It's like Legos, right? I brought some Legos and colors. And those things that maybe we forget about, like maybe we're too mature and too sophisticated for all that anymore. But I would say it's a good reminder, right? The things that gave us joy as kids can give us joy today.
I was gonna say I love color. I have no less than like 4 or 5 Lego sets in my room. They're decor. I love them so much.
Yeah.
And I have I'm not ashamed to say that I have a coloring app on my iPad, and I will be doing it all the time. So
I love it. So I may rip one of these out for you, and you can get in on the Shipp
Perfect
competition.
Epic.
Right?
I appreciate it.
So what do you do? So it's hectic being a student with all the demands that go with that, let alone a student athlete. Mm-hmm. So I think about that. Like what do you do to kind of keep you balanced?
Well, for me, it's like you talked about, it's a lot of different stressors. And so like sometimes, we talk about physical activity has actually been shown to reduce stress. So like participating in sports has the potential to kind of take away some of that stress in your life. But because it is such a time commitment, especially for somebody like me who's biotechnicality a 3-sport athlete, right? So like I'm never out of season. So unfortunately for me, it's not always a stress reducer. So I find ways to like completely take myself out of it all.
Yeah.
I love watching movies. I love walking. I've grown accustomed this semester to walking the campus loop. Like I'll just put my headphones in and just walk.
Get on the trails, right?
Yeah. Walk down there. I love music. I love listening to music.
Ooh, come on. I want to know about what kind of music you're listening to.
Oh, wow. Pretty much anything. Like I'm into any kind of music. I'm really into Frank Ocean right now.
Okay.
I've been listening to a little bit of like some sort of indie rock, hip hop sort of deals.
Okay.
But I don't stray away from any music.
Right. So I always ask this question. So get ready. So
yes,
I think this
I'm
is
ready.
good. So, right. Plane crashes. You survive. Everybody's okay.
Yep.
But you end up stranded on an island.
Yes.
You have a boombox that for whatever reason it works. I don't even know if people know what boomboxes are anymore. But anyway, so you have a radio. You have something that you can listen to music.
Yes.
But it only comes in on one station. It'll only play one group or artist. Who would it be for as long as you're stranded on that island?
One station. I think if it's one, I can't pick one artist. Like people always ask me, "What's your favorite song?" And it like changes all the time. Like I can't. I think if I were to pick one station, it would have to be like like restaurant jazz music.
Oh yeah.
Like
Okay.
it's what
Like
I put on
piano
in the, yeah,
jazz?
like piano, saxophone. I
Yes.
put it on in the background all the time.
Yeah.
Because it never gets old. That or like Jimmy Buffett Island sort of beach vibes. Yeah.
We have a parrot head here. How cool is that? I love Buffett, right?
I do too. Yeah.
I miss him, right? It's been
Yes.
over a year, right,
Yes.
since he left.
Yep.
But just that whole vibe, right?
Yeah.
Is
I think
right.
it would be evergreen. It would never get old, and
Yeah.
I would love it forever. So.
Well, I'm going to add the Grateful Dead to that. I think
Yes, of
folks that
course,
know
of
me, right, I
course.
can't go without saying that. And I think they're so diverse in kind of their periods through the years. So but man, that type of music for you, right, kind of gets you
Yes.
centered, gets you right.
I was gonna say it's not like I love right before I'm about to race anything loud and crazy and obnoxious in my ears, but like when I'm like sitting in my room, I just need to be like
Calm.
at peace and calm, right?
Right.
So yeah.
So good. So music's a big part
Music's
of your
great.
kind of getting straight.
Yes, and my friends, my roommates and I are all on the same team together.
Okay.
And so we are all naturally facing some of the same stressors, and so the four of us at times tend to like just try to do things together outside of running and school. Just try to go out. And
What
have
do
some
they
fun.
do? Like, what do you think they do today?
My one roommate is very into video games. He loves video games.
Okay.
Conveniently Rocket League. I know we've discussed this
Really?
in the past.
Yeah, I love it.
Car
Yeah.
soccer. So that's his
Yep.
fave.
Okay.
Some of my other roommates similar. We watch a lot of TV, a lot of YouTube, a lot of. I really like cooking as well, and so we've all kind of started cooking some more in our apartment.
No way.
Oh yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
How,
I'm a
and
big chef.
And a lot of folks, right? Just, I feel like there's a renaissance of wanting to learn how to cook, right? Prepare meals and eat good, healthy foods.
Yeah.
So that's a great thing. To
And I
know.
will say, actually, admittedly, as part of a de-stressor, like one of my things every week, like it gets to be the end of the night and like eating becomes a task. Because
Yeah,
I'm like, what am I going to make?
Yeah.
And so I've taken to meal planning at the start of the week, which helps reduce my stress later
Okay.
in the week. So I'm like,
Okay.
okay, I can look back at my list and see what I'm going to make. Now, mind you, I still get to like Wednesday and I'm like, I still got to make this.
I know, right?
But-
what's your go-to? Like, like your friends would be like, come on, Justin, you got to make this for us. today."
Quite frequently, I make, well, it's two things because
Okay.
until I started meal planning, I made like the same two things on repeat. I love a good wrap, like chicken, vegetables, sauce, cheese,
yeah,
all the
yeah.
yummy wrap with some French fries.
Okay.
Or I make a pasta, so I like just cook up some sausage and tortellini and bake it all in an oven, and it's really yummy.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm a lasagna guy.
Oh, nice.
So right, that's
Yummy.
kind of the family favorite, right?
I
When
like it.
I get the special request.
Yeah.
Not much else beside that. I'm kind of maybe a stereotypical grill
Iceberg.
fella, but lasagna, right?
I like it.
That's cool.
Well, what kind of things do you do? I know you color. What
Yeah,
kind of stress relief do
right.
you do?
I think going for walks, being
Yes.
outside is
Yeah,
really important. I mean,
absolutely.
there's a lot of well proven benefits to getting outside and
Absolutely.
getting kind of connect with nature. So that's important, right? I try to walk to work as much as I can. I mean, I'm kind of blessed that we live close to campus, so
Right.
and it's a beautiful little
yeah.
trail
Oh,
to
yeah.
to get up here. There's, in fact, there's a little friend, a little woodchuck
Okay.
that I see.
Yes.
I call him Chuck. Have you seen
Nice.
Chuck
I have seen
out
him
there on the
before.
way up?
Yep.
Yeah. He has a little. You can even see his little tree that he's in. He's got it. Sometimes I feel like he comes out to say hi, right? And so I'm like, "Hey, Chuck, what's going on?" But just that, right,
Yeah.
is a little. I mean, we all have busy, hectic things going on. I feel like if I'm doing my job well,
Yeah.
I'm taking care of me,
Right.
our family for sure, and making sure that the folks that I work with, like I'm not increasing their stress level,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I think it goes to even how you talk to folks, right?
Right.
So we may have a variety of different challenges, right? If I can wish anything for students and young professionals on their way to their career and their life, right, is how can you not escalate a situation? How can you be part of a solution together, right?
Absolutely.
Good collaboration
Yeah.
skills. And keep the stress level low so you can think clearly together,
Right.
And find ways to solve challenges. And I think that's you've probably been in group projects or on the team, right?
Yeah.
Where some people kind of operate at this very high level of anxiety,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you can
Sometimes it's me. I will admit.
right, and you can almost feel it though,
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah.
Like amongst you can kind of feel the vibe that's given off.
Yeah.
So I try to be very kind of low key so that we can get to the issue.
Yeah.
And so I don't kind of keep us away from doing good work together.
Yeah, no, and absolutely. I appreciate you saying that, because I can, like, for myself too, the past like year and a half of my life or so has just been very like transformative. I mean, you get to your early 20s and it's that start of your time, and so
I can barely remember that, Justin. It's like,
what do you mean? It was just yesterday for you.
I know, right? It feels like it.
Yeah. But like, you know, you learn a lot and you start to develop new skills, and I've like had some mindset shifts, and that's part of why I was so inspired with SAAC and part of what I wanted to use SAAC for. Like, we are such a collaborative space, and that's our goal. Emma and I, like, our huge thing this year has been buy-in, and we've had such great buy-in from the athletes, right?
Yeah.
And so,
why do you think that is? Like, what are they sensing?
well, selfishly, I like to think it's because we've created a really cool environment.
Of course it is.
But
of course.
I also think it's because, you know, we had a really good year last year. It was that introduction of what this can be, and what we can make of it.
Yeah.
We had a really solid plan coming in, and we're executing it pretty well. But like, I like to create that space. One thing we're doing this year, actually in the spring semester, there is a initiative called the Green Bandana Project.
Okay.
So it's an ask, listen, refer based
yeah.
program.
So I've heard about this. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to try it out in SAAC as a pilot program. And if it's successful, it might become mainstream for the whole Maryville community.
Right.
But the principle of it is that somebody gets informed, or somebody will teach, somebody on campus will teach the SAAC representatives about, you know, the signs and the symptoms of mental health struggles and things of that nature. And then we are proxies of that information. We can then go out and teach. So we'll get a green bandana you tie it on your backpack, and the hope is that, you know, you see that information and you can say, oh, well, I can ask this person for help, and I can turn to them for exactly those kind of things you're looking for, like somebody who's not going to add stress to your life, somebody who will inherently be a resource for you.
And listen, right?
And listen, absolutely.
Right. That's part of it, I think, right? Those are one of those superpowers that you wish more people were really good at, right?
Yes.
Is the ability to listen and care.
Yep.
It's easy to want to, we all know this, right? That it's easy to want to make a comment, right?
Yes.
And not really try to understand where you're coming from. And so that's a great superpower and a gift if you can listen well.
Yeah, and I've learned a lot in Dr. York and Dr. Carver's classes through my times here about the skill of active listening. So it's not, I commonly find myself in conversations just in various walks of life where I'm having a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
I'm looking in their eyes, and I can see the thought that they're about to process 30 seconds after I get done talking. And right.
Yeah.
So it's that process of like hearing what people are saying and responding in a way that is not, I had this prepared 40 minutes ago.
Right. And that's respect, right?
Of course.
Too.
Yeah.
I think it's a form of kindness as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And you know what's, there's a word that I think that's helpful too, is that curious.
Yeah.
Is that are we really curious about the experience of another? Right. I tell you what, I don't know if it's a superpower. I just grew up that way with my parents, right? Is I've always wanted to get to know people's stories.
Yeah.
Like, what makes you tick? Why do you do that?
Yeah.
Why do you spend so much time running, right? And why is it so important to you? And how is, when you're done with sports, what does that connect to outside of your athletic experience, right?
Right, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, and I love that perspective. It's part of where I love talking to people. Part of why I became a communications major is because I do love talking to people and getting to know people. Like, I can sit, my roommates and I do this all the time, where I'll be like sitting, I have to do this homework assignment, and I'll look down and I have been sitting on my couch talking for an hour and a half, and I'm like, I should have been doing something more productive. Like, what am I doing here? But it's great. It's great because it's how you get to know people. And I think that plays into something else that is you commonly see in athletics, specifically in the world as a whole, but specifically in athletics, with sort of the stigmas around where you're like, you have to put up this big, you know, facade of I'm okay, when in reality it's okay to not be okay. Right. It's okay to have those feelings, and getting to talk to somebody in that manner is how you really get to know that. Yeah.
And I even think you know, in our lives, right, we go through those periods. I always call them lightning strikes, right?
Yeah.
Where you need a little extra help.
Yes.
You need a little, you know, the ability to be vulnerable with a friend or somebody that you know, and it's okay.
Absolutely.
I had, when I was, you know, in my 20s, had a nephew who passed away from brain cancer. Oh. And that was really tough, right?
Yeah,
to process for our family, certainly, and to think about. And that's where, I mean, first time I'd ever sought out a counselor to spend time with and talk through real things, right?
Yeah.
That were, I was trying to navigate that in my brain, and it was so helpful to me, because I also think it provided kind of a point of clarity about what I wanted to do moving forward with the rest of my life too. And I think if I wouldn't have done that, or I would have been, I'm too tough to, the stereotype of I'm just not going to seek out help because that would show that I'm weak.
Yeah.
That I would have missed out on some really important insights into who I was and who I hope to become.
Right. And I'll be the first to tell you too. Therapy's fantastic. I love counseling. I think I'm a participant. I undergo therapy. It's fantastic. I love talking with somebody who it's a matter of perspective. It's all like, we're not like reinventing the wheel here. It's just perspective. And so it provides that external perspective on things. And again, that's part of why I say like who I am now is so different than what I was a year and a half ago. And it's just because I am becoming that person I want to become because of, help from the resources that are out there.
You know what it's like? So look, man, it's like total, like it's brick by brick, right?
Yeah, let's build something.
So you think about it, like how do you become a better version of yourself, right? We don't all start off with a completed Lego set, right? We start out with, got to add some pieces to it, right? And be okay with it not being perfect from the start, right?
Right, exactly. And that's one thing I really like about Maryville as well, especially there are a copious number of resources available for students and student athletes and staff and everybody on campus.
Yesterday,
I was just going to say, yesterday.
What'd you do yesterday? Wellness day, right?
Well, admittedly, I was a little bit busy, so I missed out on like the animals and the fun and the quad. But
there's a lemur.
I know. I saw pictures.
I know, how cool is that?
I was like, King Julian from Madagascar is in our quad. What's happening?
That's right.
I
love it.
I know. I took some time to catch up on some stuff. I laid around for a while. I made. We have conference cross country this weekend.
Yep.
So I made my team.
Good luck, by the way.
Thank you.
Let's go. Yeah.
It should be perfect. It's gonna be like 50 degrees. I'm very excited.
That's good running weather.
Exactly. And so I spent a little bit of time making pink ribbons for us all to wear on our jerseys for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so, I just took some time to, like I said, separate from things and just kind of be away. A couple of my roommates went golfing. Some of my teammates went and met it was great. Right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's just one way, again, that there's an active effort to support all the wellness here, because we can only be as effective as we are up in our minds.
Yeah.
Right?
And I always think a day like that, it just serves as a reminder, right? To do something. Actually, my reminder was since I moved to Maryville, I haven't got a massage.
Oh.
I love massages. Nice. And just haven't, you kind of get busy and I'll put it off. So I made an appointment for tomorrow afternoon.
There you go.
So I'm trying to be a good example, right, for everybody too. I think we should all do that. And yesterday was a reminder. I couldn't fit it in yesterday, but I was like, I'm gonna take my own advice, right? And do that on Friday. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I hope it's fantastic.
Oh, it's going to be great. Right.
I feel like I need one of those, but I'll wait till postseason.
Yes, right. That's okay.
Massage all the
recovery,
the season out, right? Yeah. It's a great reminder again to also think of yourself, right? Like one thing I always talk about too. I'm a very involved person.
Yeah.
Like I do a lot. Like I don't want to.
How do you not
I don't want to
get
sit
too
here and
busy?
brag on myself.
Yeah.
Well, it's been an active learning process for sure. Yeah. I work a few jobs, and the SAAC president. I'm a student, and I'm an athlete. Right. So I like to say I'm wearing a lot of hats, and so it's a matter of balancing all the hats so they don't all tumble down to the ground.
Can you say no to things? Or is that a thing you're learning to do?
Well, I can, and I do, but I often don't because I am motivated. Like we talked about last episode, I'm motivated by making success an opportunity for others, and so it is something I find myself commonly doing. But I've had to learn a little bit more about how to prioritize myself and do some of those things, and so
that takes a while. Like I feel like I'm still learning. That's not a easy thing to do. No. I'll typically bite off a lot, and you're forever this kind of balancing act of time for you, time for family, time for work, and priorities. And I think the thing that often gets pushed to the side is time for you. Yeah. Right. Yeah, because if you really do. I can tell you're going to care about your teammates. You're going to care about your roommates, and then before you know it, little time is left for you.
I know. And I have had to constantly remind myself that I can't be what I want to be for everybody else if I'm not who I am for myself.
Ooh, that sounds like a lifeguard. Were you a lifeguard?
I almost was, but no.
So that's the first rule in life saving. You got to be able to save yourself first before you can save others.
Yeah.
So I think that's, I'm an old lifeguard, and that was,
Nice.
it resonates, right?
Yeah.
It's like, take care of you so you can help others, be your best self for them.
Right, and it's very important. It's very important, and I do admittedly lose sight of that at
Yeah.
times, and so it's important to take back hold of that.
You're on your
sometimes.
journey, man. Like
I am. I hope
you're on
so.
the way.
I hope
yeah,
so.
You absolutely are.
Yeah. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, just
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, were
Yeah.
you ever an athlete yourself, Dan?
Oh, I was so long ago, right?
What sports did you play?
So I was in high school, football, basketball, track and
Oh,
field.
nice. What was your track event?
So I'm a long jumper, triple jumper, high jumper, sprinter.
Oh, wow.
So
all of the above.
anaerobic, right?
Yeah.
And as you get older, you realize, okay, you need to start to go a little more distance, right? Just to keep your body in good shape. But
Yeah.
so I've kind of learned my way through that now.
Yeah.
To where it's fun either if it's going for long walks, jogs.
Yeah.
So I think that's important.
Yeah.
I'm married to a soccer player.
Nice.
So athletics in our family has always been,
I get it.
critical to identity, right?
Oh, yeah.
You see yourself as that.
Oh, yeah. I tried sprinting. It didn't work out for me very well.
Yeah, but that's okay. You're built for the rest of your life.
I guess.
At some point, you just don't really need to sprint a whole lot.
Well,
anymore.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I do start to feel like I have 80-year-old knees, but we're getting through it. So.
Right? And you get those replaced. It'll be all right. Right? That all happens, right? When you get to my age, everybody's like, what are you getting replaced? Right? It's like,
well, I'm hoping nothing. That would keep the fingers crossed for that. But
keep it going. Get good shoes, right? Yeah.
And so, you can kind of speak from your experience. Did you play collegiately or was it just...
Tried when I was, I went to University of Nebraska-Lincoln, okay. So you can imagine if you're a 23-foot long jumper in high school, that's pretty good.
That's impressive.
But at the University of Nebraska level, there's a lot of people that were jumping a lot further than that. Yeah. So at some point you realize my little legs could only get me so far, right? And I'm a maximizer, so I worked really hard at that. But I think this at some point your sport quits you.
Yes, it does.
Right, no matter how much you love it.
Of course.
But you take all that with you.
Yeah.
I always tell our boys that. It's like the being competitive for yourself and others translates into who you are, who you're going to grow up into as a person, and professionally, the work that you're going to do.
Well, and that also plays into, your sport quitting out on you plays into that mental health side of things, right? Like it has the potential to be a pretty low point at the end of your career when it does drop out on you. But if you start to reshift your thinking early and often, it's all of a sudden not, that period of my life is now over. It's all of a sudden, what can I now do from now forward?
It's not devastating at all. It's just a transition that you make. All of us will make it at different points if you've been involved in athletics to whatever is next. But you do learn so many healthy habits.
Of course.
So not only mental care, right, mental health care, but just how to take care of your body, right? I think those are gifts that when you're going through at your age, kind of where you're at right now, you might not appreciate it as much. Right. When you're in your 30s and 40s, it's like, oh no, I have these healthy habits. Where did all that come from? Yeah. Oh wait, I know. Right?
Well, and it's funny because I live in St. Charles when I'm not here, and I live at the top of a hill. Our neighborhood's called the Summit, and so for 3 years I have had to run down that hill at the start of each and every one of my runs, which is super fun, except for when I'm on the way back, and all of a sudden I have to go back uphill. Right. And I went home a few weeks ago just to visit, and I had the thought, I was like, oh my gosh, like when I'm done in May, I never have to I'm not forced to run down this hill ever again. Like I can walk down, I can still get up at 6 a.m. and run like I was, but it'll be more fun and it'll be for me, and it'll be that.
It'll be for you.
Exactly. Like using that sport, even the same sport I've been doing, using the running, but for
life.
Exactly. Right? Exactly. Because it does have that potential to be so beneficial.
What's great is that something I never imagined, right? That I would be as interested in, but like going for hikes.
Yes.
Like I love that.
I do too.
And I don't even feel the need to have to. I used to go for long runs. Yeah. And even now, I think if it's my wife and I, if we get a chance to sneak away and go on just a hike 4 or 5 miles, it's wonderful.
Oh yeah.
Right, clears your head.
Absolutely. And as somebody who has been on both long runs and long hikes,
Yeah.
I can tell you hikes are fantastic.
Yeah.
Hikes are fantastic. I love them. My family and I travel to Colorado. We try once a year.
Okay.
With 2 college students and working
Right.
parents, it's a little bit of a challenge.
That is.
Yes, but we love hiking out there.
And you love the mountains, yeah.
Love the mountains. Yeah, we
Yeah.
bring our dog. It's very fun. Like we actually found ourselves one year on a hike that was supposed to end up be like a quick hour, and it ended up being like 12 miles and 4 hours long. But it was so fun because
yeah,
you
it
just get
is.
lost, and you're like, oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah. So there it is. You're translating all those healthy habits into the rest of your life.
Yeah, and those healthy habits will help you get jobs and be
Yeah.
successful and move
Enjoy,
forward.
right? There's
Yeah.
a lot of joy in that. Yeah.
There's a lot of joy in that. And that's part of where, for me too, like transparently, right? Like running is a sport that is incredibly as much physical, or it's as taxing physically as it is mentally, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, it's a little bit more about once this all ends, like kind of refinding that, not love for the sport, but that like, reconnection with the sport. Because when you are running so much, so often,
Yeah.
it starts to become monotonous. And
Right.
so finding
Right.
that love of it again is very important.
And you might be able to translate it into, I know my wife, right? So she played college soccer, but she also, she learned along the way to be a triathlete. And
Yes.
so
Yes.
swim and bike and run. And
Yep.
for her, that was her own little
Yep.
personal challenge, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And so you may find your way. What's nice about running is you can
Yes.
translate that into kind of lifelong competition too with yourself.
That's actually very funny you bring that up because that is my hope. I do one triathlon every
There we go.
summer.
Okay.
I'm really good at the run and the bike part.
Swim. There we go.
Swim is where I could use a little bit of practice.
You're like, why are you just floating on your back?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Prettily, no.
Yeah.
Do I do it well? No.
But that'll be fun. That's
yes.
something to figure out.
Exactly.
Right? Build
Exactly.
your technique. And
Well, and there's so many like triathlon and running clubs in this
yeah.
area,
They'll
and
help
so it's
you.
that whole element of the sport, but then also the connection of the community.
crew might even be fun too, right? For you as an endurance athlete. That
Yeah.
might be I have even thought about that. I see when I'm out at the Creve Coeur Lake
Yep.
around there, I think, gosh, why don't I get out there and
should.
row? I know nothing about it, but
Me
I think
neither.
it looks fun to me.
Perfect. Well, we can figure it out.
Yeah, right? Maybe you and I will go out and get one of those too. I don't even know what they're called, but
Yeah.
we'll go do it, right?
I'm into it. I see
Okay.
those all the time. We do long runs out there all the time, and I'm like, I could be rowing right now.
Right. It'd be
Exactly.
fun.
It would be very fun. It'd be very fun. So the stigma of mental toughness is a real barrier in athletics. We've kind of talked about that. What role do you believe we all play in kind of actively breaking some of that down on this campus?
I think you talk about it. I think you're good examples for each other.
Yeah.
And so, I think we all know those folks that might feel there's a stigma, right? And not be willing to necessarily reach out.
Yeah.
And so it's, how do you do that? I think it's as simple as talking about it. So you and I
Yeah.
talking about,
Yeah.
I've been to counseling, you've been to counseling.
Absolutely.
We seem like pretty average folks,
cool
right?
people.
Yeah, cool people, right? So no stigma to it. But helping, I think, individuals understand that it's just a resource. It's another chance to have somebody listen to you and your concerns.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just being present for friends, kind of one person at a time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right? I don't think
agree.
there's any magic bullet to it, but I think talking about it, being present, taking away kind of demystifying, like, gosh, how do I get a hold of a counselor? At the university, we have great resources.
Yep.
It's this easy.
Yeah. Yeah. You talk about that element of community, which I think is very important.
Yep.
We've got we all are a community.
Look, I'm wearing hold on, this is my,
Nice.
so
I like it.
I'm in community today, right? So I'm always representing one of our communities.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. You talk about being a maximizer.
Yeah.
Maybe tell me a little bit about what does that mean for you?
I think it's potential. I think the thing that this kind of goes back to a long time ago in counseling conversations around what are things that are scary to you, right? What are things that kind of maybe have an outsized fear factor in your life? For me, it's always been about not living into your potential.
Okay.
Right. And so kind of when you take your last breath, whenever that is, like young or old, it's like, are you going to think back and go, gosh, I wish I would have done that, or I wish I would have tried that, or I wish I would have said those things, right?
Yeah.
So I try to, especially when Brian passed, my nephew years ago, I began to think more fully about that. Like that little fellow wasn't guaranteed much more time, which is a total shame.
Of course, yeah.
But then you live into that. That's kind of motivation for me. Whatever those, the old hourglass, sands through the hourglass, how many sands you have left, I want to make them count.
Absolutely.
Right? And
yeah.
I don't want to cheat myself or others or people I love from not having lived into a full life.
Yeah.
And even if you don't know what that means today, I think don't put a cap on what you can do or what you hope to do.
Yeah.
Like stretch it out there. Like
Yeah.
I never imagined in a million years when I was your age that I'd be a university president. Like that doesn't even make sense to me, the old me years and years ago.
Yeah.
But I think all along the way, I've tried to really stretch myself to do more for others, and ultimately led to a great situation at Maryville.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's interesting that you bring that up, because it leans into that, like, a lot of the stress that sometimes people feel, myself personally, is this doom and gloom of, oh my God, what's to come?
Right.
Like, I'm so scared.
Right.
But I appreciate that, living into your potential and leaning into it. And I think that can, swapping your mindset to that might help, especially, I'm going to make the athletics connection here. SAAC president here. Like,
for sure.
I struggle pretty regularly with, like, the struggles of, just being an athlete, right? Like, I know I can run times, I know I can run distances, but it's that mental barrier of telling yourself you can't.
Right.
And so kind of stepping away from that and realizing you have every potential to do that.
Yeah. And you at some point you kind of flip a switch or a dial where you're like, well, maybe I can't, but I'm going to try.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's okay. Like,
that's all
we
right.
all like the fear of failure is this big boogeyman out there for all of us, right? Like, I don't want to let the university community down. You don't want to let your teammates down. You don't want to let yourself down. At some point you do, I feel like it's very healthy down, kind of the road in your future of when you can liberate yourself from that, and that boogeyman becomes really small.
Yeah.
And then it's like, gosh, I fail all the time and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And so learning to keep trying, right? That's, boy, if there's not a better example for what really athletics brings to you and kind of your mental health, I think that's a perfect example. Right?
Yeah,
Keep trying.
Absolutely. And I think that's, like, for me, the biggest thing, especially come, like, track. Cross country is a little bit of a different, I'll speak from my experience. Cross country is a little bit different. We don't compete quite as often just because it is a little bit more of a taxing race. But, like, track, we're almost racing every single weekend.
Yeah.
And so, like, if I have a poor weekend, it's also such a challenging sport, because a one drop of rain or a gust of wind could be the difference in literally anything for you.
Yeah.
And so it's realizing that, and then also realizing I'll be back on the track next weekend and I can go ahead and try
Give it a go.
Right. When I fell into the pit freshman year in that S&T steeple pit, I was like, what if I just never did this again? And then next weekend I was out there doing it again.
And isn't it funny, like when you have those kind of failings as you go, in your mind it's such a big deal.
Yeah.
And then if you kind of take a step back, right, you could be everybody that was at that track meet.
Yep.
Maybe 10 people saw you do that.
Believe it or not, nobody got it on video either.
Right.
And so it never happened unless I tell them about it. And so,
but you feel like 20,000 people just saw that.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Right. And then at some point you become okay as you become liberated to stub your toe and fail and get back up, and grit and resilience, and how important that is. And I think athletics does that better than most things you can ever get involved in. It teaches you to fail and get knocked down and get back up and keep trying.
Yeah.
And talk about something that will live with you the rest of your life.
Absolutely. And it will serve you exceptionally well, especially outside of athletics, as you continue into the future. I mean, this even, sitting down on this podcast, blasting my face out onto the internet is something that I was like, you know what, this will be fun, but I'm also terrified. Like, I was walking over here, I was like, episode 2, I've done this once before, and I was still equally as nervous to come back over here again.
So you don't seem it at all, right?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And if we stumble together and we help each other along the way.
And it is what it is. And it'll be, and it's, that again, it's that community, those relationships, and it's the connection we fostered, which I think is really beneficial.
And it's that trust, right? You always know then too, with your relationships as you grow.
Yeah.
I'm going to have your back.
Yeah.
Right? You got my back, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to help me maybe color the turkey.
I would love to help you color the turkey.
Right? We'll
Yeah.
do that so I can win our family prize.
Yeah. When is the winner announced? When
So
do we
it's
get to know?
Thanksgiving. So
On
we got a
Thanksgiving
little
Day.
time. So I'm just kind of
You've got some
working
time.
through it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Step by step, making sure
Step
it's
by
perfect.
step.
Well, I think you can win. I think you can do it.
All right. Right.
Well, that's all I have on mental health, Dan. I think we pretty well covered it today.
That's great.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Right?
Appreciate it. We'll see what we can get up to in the next episode.
Episode 3 is coming
Episode
up.
3 is on the way.
Okay.
Yes. Alrighty.
All right. Thanks, Justin.
Peace out, Saints.
See ya.
Cool.
Fine.